Good morning and welcome to Event Horizons. What a week this has been, my friends. I can't believe it's Friday, but it is, and there is so much to share with all of you. We will get to it. We will get to the things that I just search on mainstream sites and do not find, and it just breaks my heart that we are treated like potted plants that don't have an interest. I think that's one of the worst parts of it, as if we don't have an interest, and so many truly don't because they're overloaded, working 2 or 3 jobs to make ends meet, and they're not doing so. It's just not enough. That's what everybody's finding. It's just not enough. It's not enough to work 3 jobs. It's not enough to try to get clean water. It's not enough to worry about clean air. It's not enough, everything where people turn. So it makes perfect sense why so many shut down and choose to be medicated and disconnected from their emotions. That's what happens when you take the different psychiatric, psychoactive, antidepressant, anti-anxiety drugs. There's a disconnect so that you can go out and function and be a good worker bee. But you don't learn how to resolve the issues that concern you, and that is what is needed. Good old conversation with a therapist or with family and friends. My gosh, whatever happened to that? Reaching out to others. Just when you're out, knowing everyone is stressed, smile, guys. Smile at each other. Many of you must think I am absolutely nuts, but I do this. So I'm not asking you to do anything that I don't do. I do it, and I see the difference that it makes when somebody's face lights up because they're out there thinking that they're just wallpaper, that nobody notices them. You smile at others, talk to them, share information, and that is the beginning. That is the foundation. That is how we rebuild. It's that simple. Maybe you have a problem because it truly is that simple. I'm your anchor, Dr. Robin Falkov. We are here with Event Horizons from Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to noon. My website is healthfreedomrights.com. I welcome all of your emails and questions and recommendations. After all, you are my audience. You are my extended family, and it's all about working together to make it better. Sounds trite, but it is true. And that's also the focus here at Revolution Radio. We all work together to make it better here. And there's a diversity of information. If what I say doesn't resonate with you, there are plenty of other hosts. You can find and you can explore and you can learn. So do that. Look at it as an open university for a diversity of information. And when you are downloading the programs to your smart devices, if you are subscribing to the podcast, which is great, we love that when you're able to do that. If that's within your budget, it's $4.95 a month. Let the shows play out loud. There are so many new ways to listen, guys, with Live 365, with iTunes. Coming soon will be iHeartRadio, with Spreaker.com right now. You can be out and about and play the show and start up conversations. It's a great icebreaker. It truly is. And I'd like to remind everybody, because the commitment is so great here, and because that is Nighthawk's focus and his primary concern, getting that information out. You can always hear the shows for free at youtube.com. So nobody's going to be deprived. Nobody will not have access to that necessary information to be able to make informed decisions. I've been doing this for a lot of years, my friends, and working with patients, working with friends and families and different groups. And it's just heartbreaking when people say, if only I had known. Well, we are here to give you that information, so you're not saying that because now you will have known, and you will be able to choose. You won't have a nanny government deciding for you. You can do it yourself. It takes a little bit of work, but you'll get used to it, and it'll feel good, and it'll be, oh my gosh, look at this nightmare all around us that we, the people, have allowed to come to pass. But remember, guys, we're the 99%. There are more of us than there are of them, and we can definitely change it. There's lots to be done, lots of shining examples out there of people who refuse to be beaten down, and I have to say, I have so much respect for team member Melanie Vritschan, who has been through such horrific experiences from what has happened to her. And she didn't just go off and feel sorry for herself. No, she made it better. She got involved. She helped form organizations to make it better for others. And it's making it better for people around the world. So kudos and appreciation to you, Melanie, for all that you do. And Melanie will be coming on. I guess we can bring Melanie on right now, Producer Jerry, because I do have some important alerts to share. But let me get Melanie on because I don't know how much time she has. Got to remember, it's Friday afternoon for her, and there's lots following, at the end of the week for all of us. So, oh, you're there.
I am.
Good afternoon, my friend. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm very busy actually speaking to different human rights organizations on what has happened recently, this forced arrest and the fact that they tried to lock me up in psychiatry basically. So so this has had now in fact the opposite effect. There are more and more human rights organizations interested in what actually happened, and so I doubt that whoever ordered the
arrest
probably did not intend this, so that now this is actually getting the word has been spreading very quickly. And it's getting much publicity and much awareness from the public, which is certainly not what they had intended.
I have a question, Melanie. It might sound naive, but is it possible for you to find out, for them to make available to you, whoever filed that report that you should be picked up for this psychiatric commitment?
Yes, my lawyer is currently looking into this. She has requested the whole file, so hopefully we'll find out. But in any case, I've just spoken to Amnesty International, in fact, and I was told that normally when they do this, your GP has to at least be informed and he has to agree that you should be, committed to a psychiatric facility, which in my case was not the case. First of all, he didn't know about it, and then had he known about it, he would certainly not have agreed. In fact, it is him who told the psychiatrist that, I had all proof that I was a victim, of non-consensual experimentation with cover technologies, and that I had all the proof and that I was not crazy, and that there was no reason to detain me in a psychiatric unit of this clinic, or so. And following this, this psychiatrist let me go. But so there seems to be already some violation of the procedure here, because normally your GP has to be informed about it and he has to agree.
Okay. Well, so obviously since your GP would not agree with it, how did they manage to go around it? I guess that's what your attorney's looking into?
Yes, exactly.
So do I have to do I have to say outright that it's evidence of dirty dealings? Somebody's pulling strings?
Yeah, it certainly looks this way, yeah.
Well, I'm so glad that you had everything in place and that you are educating others to do so, because these outrages must come to an end.
Yes, so, but with this fact, I mean, as I said maybe last time, my neighbors actually witnessed the scene and also, supplied me and the lawyer with a written statement on what they had seen. So they were not like, a lot of the public is not very much aware of the non-consensual experimentation with discovered technologies and weapons that are nanotechnology weapons that are going on, and that citizens are non-consensually implanted. So, but they certainly witnessed the scene, and they seemed to think that that was an outrageous violence. The scene looked very, exaggerated to them. The violence that was deployed, and also they were really wondering what was going on. So they have now provided me with their written testimony that the police had been up here and tried to break my door in unsuccessfully, and the door has been damaged, and they didn't really understand what was going on. But it seemed that certainly very violent, very violent action to them. So whilst we got in, we talked about that, I actually explained to them what I do and what is going on, and they were very shocked. And the word of mouth is going. They have already informed other people. So actually, this action has now provoked that these crimes are getting more known. Because people talk about it, of course, and he has been on our websites and showed others. So my neighbor, it's and if the effect was to silence me, it's been the total opposite, which has been achieved.
Yes, well, very bad call on their part. So we know that, but this is outstanding that you have the support and understanding of your neighbors. That is just priceless. And as you said, they're sharing it with others.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
They're sharing it with others, and they were definitely very shocked to see, like that they came up here with three, that they yelled and shouted, open the door, police, police. And whilst they were talking to the two of them, the other one was against my door and tried to break it in very violently. And he said, well, I mean, for us, it was clear that you were not in the apartment. It was totally quiet, and and we really didn't see the urgency. And the policeman said to them that, there was music in my apartment, and there was the radio, and that they were sure I was there. And I just didn't want to open the door, which my neighbor said it seemed absurd, because
right.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So I think they, with this very violent action against me, they have actually shook many people up. Certainly, in the house here, and So the information about these crimes is getting out even quicker now.
Well, that is outstanding. I'm so pleased that this has backfired on them.
Yeah, very much. So we have the Human Rights League, in fact, here in Brussels, and just a few days afterwards, one of the major newspapers, Le Soir, titled, on the first page, there was a big article saying the violence, police violence in Belgium, is on a sharp increase, and that the Human Rights League recollects on average 4 testimonies of police violence per week, especially in Brussels. So it was, and that day there is a site that is called an observatory. This is why the league, the Human Rights League here in Belgium at least, has started a website which they call an observatory of police violence, where people can send their, post their testimonies. So which I would certainly do. And so that came just out a few days after this attack on me, this arrest. And what is a little, I know maybe people that are not so familiar yet with the subject of covert harassment, is that many victims of these technologies also, and I'm not an exception, also report then illegal entries into their home, their property being ransacked, things destroyed, things stolen, and so this kind of harassment as well. So it was very funny when I recently came back to my house. There was this newspaper had in fact a supplementary part, if you want to. Where it reported about this, this observatory. And when I came back, they had that was a commercial, like an advertisement in the newspaper. They had taken this out, which was, they obviously took it out of the mailboxes of one of my neighbors here, some houses a little bit further away. It was not addressed to me, but it said, is the Le Soir, that is the name of the newspaper, is it going to bring you luck? So which I understand that as alluding to the fact that I have, posted my testimony on this site that reports on police violence.
I don't understand. So they're saying that is your report going to bring you luck?
Yes.
Is that like a threat?
It is, yeah. It is like a threat, or at least it's a message. Are you going to be lucky in doing this? Basically?
Yeah, sure. I understand, and that's and who made this comment?
I don't know. It was this advertisement saying this. Is Le Soir going to bring you luck? Was posted, was put on my living room table.
Wow.
So
they came in your house and left it there?
Yes. They have to keep my house. They come regularly into my house and ransack my property. And but so they came in and left it. It's very visibly on the living room table. And that was obviously, if it was not a threat, at least a message. And it was addressed. So they took actually the pain to go a few houses further and took just this advertisement, is Le Soir going to bring you luck, out of a mailbox of a neighbor, just to place it on my living room table, as a message.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds like they're pretty desperate, Melanie. You must be hitting a nerve, but you got to be looking at protection, and I'm so glad that you have the support of your neighbors.
Yes, I have the support of my neighbors. I have my family, after first really not understanding what was going on, has now understood. So I have family support. I met many people that are in the same situation than I. So we are really quite a strong group already now here in Belgium. And there's an enormous amount of targets of victims here actually in Belgium. Well, maybe it's also easier for us to meet each other because Belgium is such a small country, so that is probably helping. But we are a big group, and there are more and more lawyers also that are either victims or in any case interested in this cause. And doctors are starting to wake up. So I must be hitting a nerve. But it is clear that with actions like this forced arrest and so on, they're actually provoking an even greater awareness of the public, on the issues of covert harassment and non-consensual experimentation with these remote influencing technologies.
Gosh. Well, I'm so pleased to hear how this backfired on them.
Yeah. So I believe that in the future it's going to be really much more difficult to experiment on anyone, without their consent.
Well,
This is why it's so important what we do here, Robin, because, to educate the public.
yeah.
Because knowledge is power,
Oh, definitely. People have no idea what goes on. They're just starting to wake up with this media barrage about the loss of privacy in the United States spying on countries around the world, the things that the government here is doing to people, and your reports and others. I mean, people have got to see the world that they're living in. I think so many still have blinders on, and they just want to believe. It's a choice. You know what I'm saying? They want to believe that those things can't happen.
Yeah, correct. I've just signed a petition, for Edward Snowden to get asylum in Brazil.
Ah, okay.
So,
you can share that. I'll post it. Producer Jerry will.
Yeah, it was in French, but it's just basically putting your name, and so that you can do that. And I was very pleased that I got then the email saying thank you for supporting Edward Snowden and this cause, and they have like a rotating system that you can see who signs, and there are like by the seconds there's a new name that signs, so of the country, so it's really a pleasure to see.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, well, I try to find it back, and I'll post the link.
Yeah, we have news here for people in the States that they're calling it NSA Day, and that Obama is going to make changes about the NSA spying on cell phones, and he's announcing an overhaul of the surveillance program. And who do we have to thank for it all? Edward Snowden. And, that's got to come out, and this insanity against whistleblowers must have an input to it.
Yes, absolutely. So I've just posted here, it said, send the email around and put up this link on Facebook. That's where you can sign it. And in this petition, in this deed, it talked about this. It talked about that Obama is going to make changes following the to the how to spy the NSA, that it's gonna that indeed these changes are going to be implemented, and that was a direct result of the Snowden revelation. So.
Yeah, I wonder, how significant this will be, because he wants to change the handling of what is known as the telephone metadata program from the way the NSA currently handles it. And I know they have been trying to build a facility for storage of data. It's mind-blowing, Melanie, how big the space is to store all the audio files that they have. Yeah. And it's been sabotaged. Whoever the contractors are, they've been trying to do this for months. I think it's a year away from completion because of sabotage. So I'd say there are a lot of people unhappy with these kinds of dirty dealings.
Yeah, definitely. So, and that's a good example how one individual, or can make a change.
Yes. Oh my God, yes. I like that. You just, people just need to wake up to the power that they have. I mean, do you find the same thing in Europe, that people are so brainwashed that whatever they do won't make a difference?
Yeah, it's true. They don't want us to know that we have this power, but we do have it indeed. And once people are, wake up, then they suddenly realize, I can do something about it. But unfortunately, yeah, you're right, Robin. To the people I speak, well, less and less now, since I founded this association. But the first reply was often, well, but they're so big. What can I do about it? Like I'm just one person, and but I'm trying to educate them and say, well, there's power in numbers, and one person plus one person plus one person, suddenly we're a whole group, and then you can change things around. I think it's also very much a mental thing. You have to be in this frame of mind that you are aware of your power and that you can change things.
Yes, of course. And people need role models. They need role models like you, Melanie, which is what I was saying before you came on. So many people just give up and then they just go hide somewhere because it's too much to deal with, the abuse that they suffer from people who don't understand. And you went out and you got involved with forming these organizations to make a difference, to wake people up, to share your experience, to find others that were in need and make a difference in their lives. So, you're an example of yes, it can be done. 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 it can be done. Yes,